Our centennial's coming up, and further research for Frank H. Collings, we wanted to know who he was, where he came from, and why he was chosen as the namesake of our post. After World War I, our founding fathers chose to take and use the veteran who was killed in action from Edmond, Oklahoma. And that individual was Frank H. Collings. Frank H. Collings is pictured right here, and he's laid to rest and was seen France at the American Cemetery. He was the first World War I veteran killed in action from Edmond, Oklahoma. If you go on to find a grave, you can pull his name up and it tells you what row, what aisle, what grave, and plot number that he is laid to rest in. A lot of our troops that were over there were killed, and the reason that Frank was named for this post is because he's the only veteran from Edmond, Oklahoma at the time, the first one, so of course the post took its name. The original charter shows Frank's older brother Leslie and one of his younger brothers, Harry, are one of the two original charter members out of the 64 veterans who are listed. In 1936, the WPA took and built this building. Now, it was from 1919 until 1936. I do not know where they held their American Legion meetings, but we were chartered in December 13th of 1919. The building was built in 1936 by the WPA. It's one of 8 original buildings in Edmond. It's only one of 2 that are on the Historical Society because it has not been altered in any way. So the building that we are in today is original to the construction of the WPA. The outside has not been changed. The only thing on the inside, of course, is the ceiling tiles, the ceiling fans, and the lights. If you took it out, it's just a cathedral roof. Our building is made out of red sandstone, and it's quite thick. I want to say it's about 4 inches thick because they put 2 of them together and we got this big, thick wall, and it's really sturdy. We have not touched any of the mortar or anything. They quarried all the sandstone from a local quarry. I'm not quite sure which quarry it was because at the time there was about 7 quarries. It cost the city $7,000. And during the contract writings for the building was built for the city, so the city owns the building. It cost the American Legion $2,000 in 1936 to have the rights to the building. The contract is that the American Legion rents the building from the city for $1 a year in 5-year increments. That still holds true today. We are still renting this building from the city for $1 a year in 5-year increments. When I became the adjutant of this post in 2007, I started researching Frank. And from that point, I've been researching all the information on these different individuals to find more and more stuff. Mr. Peters, who is the 4th gentleman in the uniform at the top, he became a commander in 1947, and then he left and went to Korea after he got his commission, and he came back from Korea. Mr. Peters is now 95 years old, so he's as well aged as the building and as well aged as the American Legion, and he has a lot of knowledge.
He lived at the corner of Fritz and Main Street in a 2-story house. Car dealer, Buell the lumberman, and Rankin the professor. Rex is the one that had the record shop. In 1947, I was the commander of the American Legion. I went to the national meeting that year. It was the same year as the Boy Scout World Jamboree in Marseille, France. I was assistant scoutmaster at the Jamboree. When he came back, we went to the convention. And of course, there was a big delegation from Edmond there because one of the auxiliary was state commander. I got to do both.
I think it would be important, since we honor our post with the names of the veterans who were killed in action or no longer living, that we should take and introduce ourselves and say, I'm from Frank H. Collings, Post 111, Edmond, Oklahoma, instead of just saying, oh, I'm from Post 111. If you're going to honor the person by naming the building after them, and you're going to display their photo and research their information, at least you should tell folks where you're from and why did the post that you're at is this name, if they ask you the question.